Over 400 kilometers from the capitals, where the trees enclose the houses, the rooms are made of straw, and the inhabitants are in perfect harmony with nature, you were in Ndiambour, my host community located in eastern Senegal. Let me tell you how me, Mareme Aïdara, alumni of the 5th Court of CorpsAfrica Senegal, spent for 9 months in a rural setting, in a village that is historically very rich, but has a cultural legacy that is implausible in 21st century. Day after day, I observed and learned from their culture, way of thinking, beliefs, daily life, and so on. I incredibly discovered through conversations that there are two social groups in the community, the slaves and the nobles. They must not marry each other or have any closing conversations. Even for drawing water, the lower class have to wait after the higher one. Here, we face ethnocentrism and caste system. Around of 887 inhabitants, we have 5 women economic interest groups. The challenge was how to work with all of them without creating any frustration. Baba, my host father, who's from the nobles, and Badi, the youth representative who's from the slaves, were the bridge I used as human resources. So, identifying and choosing these two personalities create a balance to get all groups involved. Allow me to zoom in on my host father. That great man is the beautiful soul I have ever met. Baba's generosity is authentic and spontaneous. In euphoria, he is serene. In poverty and in sickness, he always relies on the Almighty. His unshakable faith and his, contagious positivism was an unfailing support to me. Baba is the chief of the village, but I can say the father of each member of the community. I still remember the foods that he brought me when he came back to the weekly market. We could stay discussing for hours without tiring. His historical background made our conversation so passionate and dynamic. So during my first 4 months, I had a lot of community meetings and focus groups. And before implementing any project, I took my time to immerse myself and blend in. Before implementing the primary project, under the coordination of Baba and Badi, we developed training activities in saponification, bleaching, dyeing, and income management for various women economics groups. So they began to follow the subject, and I followed the process. And after a few days, they started trading with each other as each other needed the other's project in their daily lives. That strategy designed was not only to help them obtain income generating activities, but also to create a interdependence and to let them know that they need each other. So every month we held a evaluation and monitoring meeting where each group participate and shared its working strategies. And these meetings get raised to the idea for the primary project, so that with the approval of most of the members of the community, we developed an agroecological space that profit to 150 women. And guess what? The 5 women economic interest groups come to form a single group. And they open a bank account and they start to deposit money every month from the sale of the market garden produce and also from the women monthly contribution, that is 100 CFA. So from that moment on, I realized that things are going to take shape. So my CorpsAfrica volunteering service allowed me to grow and to discover Senegal in its widest reality. Living with a host community with 9 months that loved and shares to me was my greatest life experience to date. So
Back up and take it from that ending line, that's where you said, take a pause and say, living with that community was my greatest life experience to date. Back up, take a breath.
It was on the day of my farewell that I realized that I had become, attached to them in such a short time. Oh.
Someone is making a noise with a chair. Yeah.
So back up and think about what you want to say. You have just a pause, it's fine, and then just go back and say what you're saying. It was beautiful how you're doing this.
Yes, the noise from the voice.
We have to close. Are we come in or are we good?
My volunteering service with CorpsAfrica allowed me to grow and to discover Senegal in its widest reality. Living in a host community that loved and cherished me for 9 months was my best life experience. It's on the day of my farewell that I realized how much I had attached to them such a short time. So during my last formal meeting with women, one of them spoke up and said, "Thank you, Aïdara. It's the first time that we all rallying around a cause to our community." And these small words mean a lot to me. And from that moment, I proudly said to myself, this is what I do, why I do. Thank you.